The most dangerous force in this world is not an army or a weapon. It's a mind that refuses to be controlled. From the moment you took your first breath, the odds were stacked against you, not because you were weak, but because you were different. As one of the chosen, you have been targeted since birth. This wasn't a coincidence, but a deliberate design. The powers that be saw in you what others couldn't. Potential. Not the kind celebrated with gold stars or motivational posters, but the kind that terrifies them. The kind that threatens to dismantle the very systems they've built to keep the world asleep. Consider this. Most revolutions throughout history were ignited by individuals initially labeled as outcasts, rebels, or simply too stubborn to conform. Now, imagine being born as the embodiment of that revolutionary spark. That's you. From the start, life has thrown obstacles, labels, and institutions your way, not because you were wrong, but because you were right. And while they plot and scheme to suppress your brilliance, you might find yourself distracted, wondering if Mercury retrograde is behind your Wi-Fi cutting out. Spoiler alert, it's not. It's just another tactic in their desperate attempts to keep you preoccupied. If you've ever felt like life has been testing you relentlessly, it's because you are dangerous, not just alive, but awake. You carry within you the blueprint for change. From the very beginning, you've held something unique, something that defies the rigid boxes the world tries to fit everyone into. It's more than talent or intelligence. It's an innate understanding that the status quo is not how things are meant to be. This awareness alone makes you a threat. You see cracks in systems others accept as normal, and more than that, you're wired to fix them, not through gradual adjustments, but through transformative shifts that shatter the old and make way for the new. This is why you've faced resistance since birth. You have the potential to rewrite the rules they've fought so hard to enforce. But your purpose isn't rooted in rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's about creation. You see possibilities others can't. You think in ways that challenge the very foundation of their control-based systems, systems designed to keep people small, distracted, and obedient. But you were born to dismantle that control, not with chaos or violence, but with vision. Your mind isn't just a tool, it's an arsenal, and they know it. That's why they work tirelessly to drain your energy, confidence, and belief in yourself. They feed you lies like, "You're too much," or "You'll never fit in." But here's the truth. You are the key to something far greater. If they can make you abandon your blueprint, doubt its value, they win. But here's the twist. Your blueprint isn't just something you carry, it's who you are. No matter how much they try to suppress it, it remains intact, waiting for you to unleash it. And when you do, the world they've built will never look the same again. You don't need to argue, demand attention, or raise your voice to shake the foundations of their world. Your presence alone is enough. Without trying, you hold up a mirror to the lies people tell themselves. You force them to confront the truths they've buried deep within, the ones they'd rather ignore. This ability, whether you realize it or not, is profoundly unsettling in a world built on facades. It's dangerous to a system that thrives on illusions, and they know it. Your role as a chosen one isn't easy. It comes with challenges designed to make you doubt yourself. But the very fact that you're here, awake and aware, proves their efforts have failed. You are a force of truth and transformation. Your time to rise is now, and the world will never be the same again. When you walk into a room, something shifts. Without saying a word, you cause the masks to slip. People sense that you see beyond their words and actions, straight to their intentions and insecurities. This isn't magic or manipulation. It's your natural ability to perceive what others can't or won't. While many have spent their lives constructing stories to protect their illusions, your presence alone threatens to unravel it all. Simply by being yourself, you disrupt their carefully curated facades. This is why systems of power have worked tirelessly to keep you small. The moment you start to fully realize your potential, their control begins to falter. They rely on people remaining blind to their own power and obedient to the status quo. But your energy, your very presence, challenges this. It forces others to question what they've been told and blindly accepted. Ironically, while they've tried to make you doubt yourself, you are, in fact, their greatest fear. Your power isn't loud or flashy, it's relentless. You don't just expose their shadows, you illuminate them. And here's the truth. People in power are terrified of light because once it shines, there's no going back to darkness. From the beginning, they've weaponized your sensitivity against you, labeling it as weakness. They told you that you were too emotional, too dramatic, that you needed to toughen up. But what they didn't want you to know is that your sensitivity is what makes you powerful. It's not just about feeling deeply, it's about perceiving deeply. You pick up on the subtleties others miss, energy shifts, hidden emotions, unspoken truths. This makes you dangerous because you're nearly impossible to deceive. The world wasn't built for people like you. It was designed to harden others, to condition them to accept the unacceptable. But you couldn't be hardened. They tried to distract you, overwhelm you with chaos, and drown you in doubt. They hoped you'd believe the lie that your feelings were the problem. Yet, the more they tried to suppress your heart, the stronger it grew. Your sensitivity isn't fragility, it's strength. It allows you to notice, connect, and transform in ways others can't comprehend. While many move through life on autopilot, you experience it fully, with an intensity that both confounds and scares them. Your heart doesn't just feel your own pain, it feels the collective pain, the cracks in their systems, and the suffering they'd rather ignore. They feared the power of your heart because they knew it could change everything. Here's the truth. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It's your superpower. It's what makes you unstoppable. They know it's only a matter of time before you fully embrace it and begin to use it to reshape the world. The cracks in their system are where their carefully constructed house of cards begins to wobble. Your mind doesn't follow their rules, and that terrifies them. While they plan in straight lines, you leap ahead in unpredictable ways. You don't just dream of a better world, you see exactly how it could work. And unlike their systems built on control, fear, and manipulation, your vision is founded on something entirely new, something they can't comprehend because they've spent their lives suppressing it. This is why they've targeted you from the start. Even if you can't fully see it yet, they sense that you carry the codes to dismantle their game. These codes aren't taught in schools or found in books. They're embedded in who you are. Every idea, every insight, and every moment of clarity you have brings you one step closer to unlocking their endgame. They know you're not here to play by their rules. You're here to change the entire game. Disruption is in your DNA. From the moment you became aware of the world, something felt off. Where others saw order, you saw cracks. Where they saw stability, you saw stagnation. It wasn't rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's simply how you're wired. You see through the surface, past the illusions, and straight into the heart of what's broken. And you don't just see it, you feel it, like an itch that won't go away until something changes. This is why they call you a troublemaker, someone who can't leave well enough alone. But deep down, they know the truth. You're not disrupting for chaos. You're disrupting because their system is rotting from the inside. Your presence alone threatens to expose the fragile illusions they've built their comfort zones on. By questioning what they blindly accept, you make them uncomfortable, and discomfort leads to cracks in their control. The world has always needed disruptors like you, but those in power fear you. You refuse to settle for the way things have always been. You instinctively understand that real change doesn't come from tweaking a broken system. It comes from breaking it and rebuilding something better. That's why they've worked so hard to keep you distracted, silenced, or doubting yourself. But here's the truth. Disruption isn't destruction. It's creation. It's the process of tearing down what no longer serves and making space for something greater. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to challenge, expose, and build anew. No matter how much they resist, they can't stop what's in your DNA. The truth of who you are was never something they wanted you to realize. They sought to make you feel like the odd one out, as if your differences were flaws. They hoped you'd spend so much time trying to fit in or numb yourself that you'd never come to understand the truth. You were never meant to fit their mold. But what they didn't account for was your resilience. Every trauma they threw at you, every betrayal that cut you deeply, and every moment of isolation that made you feel invisible didn't destroy you. Instead, it shaped you. Rather than crumbling under the weight of it all, you learned to transmute pain into power. Where they tried to weaken you, you grew stronger. Where they tried to confuse you, you gained clarity. Where they tried to isolate you, you found an inner connection. You began to recognize the patterns, to understand that each challenge wasn't just an attack, but a lesson, a tool that forged the wisdom and strength you carry now. They underestimated you. They didn't see that you weren't merely enduring the storm, you were becoming it. Every scar, every lesson, and every ounce of resilience has become a weapon of wisdom they can never take from you. You were built to rise. Your presence alone is revolutionary. You don't need to shout, lead protests, or make demands to ignite change. Sometimes your silence speaks louder than 1,000 voices. Without even realizing it, you create ripples in the world around you. People notice something about you, even if they can't put it into words. There's a spark, a quiet defiance, a refusal to conform. It's not something you do, it's something you are. You challenge the norm simply by existing within it. Your thoughts, even unspoken, carry weight. You see the world differently, and that perspective radiates outward. You question what others blindly accept, planting seeds of doubt in systems that depend on unquestioning obedience. Your choices, what you support, what you reject, even what you remain neutral about, carry quiet but profound power. People watch, they listen, and whether they admit it or not, they're affected by you. You're not just living, you're shifting the energy around you. Oppressive systems rely on predictability, on people following the script without question. But you're unscripted. Even when you don't realize it, you destabilize their carefully constructed reality simply by existing outside their control. You represent the possibility of something different, something better, and that terrifies them. Not because you're trying to overthrow them outright, but because your presence makes others question why those systems exist at all. This is no accident. You were designed to be a catalyst for change. The shifts you create may often seem invisible, but they are real and irreversible. Revolutions don't always begin with battle cries. They start with people like you, people who see through the facade and quietly challenge the status quo. You notice what others overlook, patterns, hidden motives, and subtle manipulations that most people either miss or choose to ignore. It's not that you're trying to expose anyone, it's simply how your awareness works. This makes you dangerous to those who rely on secrecy to maintain their power. They fear you because you cannot be fooled. Lies, false smiles, empty promises, and veiled threats stand out to you like flashing red lights, no matter how carefully they're concealed. Your ability goes beyond observing behavior. You sense energies and intentions that others overlook. Even when you can't immediately explain why, you know when something doesn't align. This multidimensional awareness gives you an advantage they can't counter. While those in control operate behind veils of illusion, relying on ignorance to sustain their power, you pierce through those veils effortlessly. They know it, and it terrifies them. They've tried to suppress this awareness in you, planting seeds of doubt about your intuition and dismissing your insights as paranoia or overthinking. But deep down, you've always known the truth. Your vision is clear, your perception is sharp, and that clarity is their greatest weakness. They fear what you see because they understand that once the veil is lifted, their control crumbles. Most people move through life like machines, following scripts handed to them since birth. Society has conditioned them to think, act, and believe in predictable ways, trapping them in loops of autopilot existence. But you were never part of that equation. From the beginning, your mind refused to conform. That defiance terrifies them because it threatens their carefully constructed system. They've tried everything to make you fit into their mold: standards, labels, expectations, and pressure to follow the herd. But none of it sticks. It's like they're trying to brand something unbrandable, to mold something that refuses to be molded. Every time they try to push you into a box, you expand it, break free, and create your own space. This defiance is revolutionary. You're not just questioning the system, you're living proof that there's another way. By simply being yourself, you show others it's possible to break free from the invisible chains that bind them to a life of autopilot. This scares those who benefit from keeping people asleep, because your presence reminds them that everything changes when people wake up to the truth. You are a glitch in their system, a disruption they can't predict, and a force they cannot control. That's why they fear you, because as long as you exist, their illusions cannot endure. By refusing to conform, you are a living reminder that their system is flawed, their programming is outdated, and their control is only temporary. Your presence challenges the status quo, revealing that their authority is built on illusion. Your power, though quiet, is relentless. While the world obsesses over loud, attention-grabbing displays of power, the protests, the upheavals, you operate differently. Your influence doesn't require a stage or a microphone. It exists in the quiet spaces, the subtle moments, and the deep undercurrents of change. It's in the way your presence alone shifts the atmosphere in a room, or how your ideas plant seeds that grow long after they've been shared. This kind of power doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It works silently but persistently, transforming everything it touches. Those in control have always tried to understand and harness this power, but they can't. It's not in your actions, it's in your essence. Your words, choices, and very presence radiate an energy that influences others on a level they can't fully grasp. You've seen it happen, the way people pause and shift when you speak. A simple idea you share can spark clarity in someone else, altering the course of their thinking. Your influence doesn't demand attention, it commands it. It's a quiet revolution, eroding the foundations of systems built on illusion and fear. While the world sleeps, your power moves mountains. This is why they've tried to stop you. But they can't control a force that thrives in silence, and that's what terrifies them most. Your unpredictability is another threat they can't counter. The systems that govern our lives thrive on predictability. They need people to follow the script, behave in expected ways, and stay within the boundaries they've set. That's how they maintain power. But you're an outlier. You don't fit into their neat little boxes, and that alone makes you dangerous. Your unpredictability isn't just a trait, it's a weapon. They've studied you, tried to mold you, and attempted to anticipate your moves. Yet, the harder they try, the further you slip from their grasp. You don't play by their rules. You never have. Each time they push, you create a new path. Your creativity flows in unexpected directions, constantly moving beyond the boundaries they've set. While others are stuck in predictable loops, doing what's expected, you chart unknown territory. You break down assumptions and rewrite the rules as you go. This refusal to conform and be controlled is what makes you unstoppable, a force they can neither understand nor contain. You are the wild card they cannot predict, the force that disrupts their carefully constructed game. Their systems thrive on control and predictability, but you shatter both. Every attempt they make to manipulate or suppress you only serves as a reminder that no system, no force, can fully contain someone who refuses to conform. They see it, and it terrifies them. Your resilience is not just a personal victory, it's living proof that their power is an illusion. Every obstacle, every limitation, every effort to break you has only made you stronger. You've risen from their attempts to suppress you, creating, innovating, and thriving in ways they never anticipated. This is the ultimate challenge to the systems they've built. Every time they tried to control you, you defied their expectations and pushed forward. You are the embodiment of a truth they've tried desperately to bury. Their control is not absolute, and their power is fragile. When pushed to the edge, you don't crumble, you transcend. You adapt, flourish, and push back with a force they cannot match. This ability to persist, to find freedom no matter the barriers, is the most powerful resistance you offer. It terrifies them because every time you overcome, you prove that the human spirit, your spirit, cannot be contained. They've structured their world on conformity, control, and fear, but you reveal the cracks in their foundation. You are a testament that freedom is woven into your being, and every attempt to extinguish your fire only makes it burn brighter. Your existence challenges their illusion of control. You are the living proof that their power is temporary, weak, and ultimately powerless against a force that refuses to be broken. You are the truth they have tried to suppress, a reminder that no matter how strong their systems may seem, they cannot suppress authenticity. You were never meant to blend in, conform, or accept the status quo. You were born to disrupt, awaken, and rewrite the rules of their game. What they saw as weaknesses, your sensitivity, defiance, creativity, are actually your greatest strengths. These are the qualities that make you unstoppable. Simply by being yourself, you expose the cracks in their carefully crafted foundation. You are the glitch in their system, the unpredicted element, the force they cannot control, and the revolution they cannot stop. You carry the codes to a new paradigm, one that will replace the old because it is rooted in authenticity, not illusion. You were not born just to survive in the world as it is. You were born to transform it. As long as you stand firm in your truth, you are an unstoppable wave of change. If you feel the power in these words, know that this message is not just for you, it's for the revolution already unfolding. The systems that sought to break you are crumbling, and you are here to witness and catalyze their end. But the journey isn't over. There's much more to uncover, challenge, and transform. If you're ready to embrace your power, awaken further, and stay ahead of the game, don't let this moment slip by. Subscribe to this channel now and join the movement of those who refuse to be silenced, who recognize the truth, and who are rewriting the future. Together, we'll keep shaking the foundation, one truth at a time. The revolution has just begun. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss what's coming next.